Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the series called Rebuilding Your Team, as we're looking at 2021's MLB surprise team in the Seattle Mariners. This team was almost a playoff team, but that was because they were so lucky. They were in a lot of one-run games and won most of them. That's why they had a minus 51 run differential. They have some great prospects, and some are coming in the MLBs and through the farm system. They have in the MLB in Kelnick and Gilbert, and have Rodriguez, Marte, and Hancock as the top 5 in the way up. So they're in a great spot, and financially are $100 million under the luxury tax as of now. We don't know with the new CBA where the luxury tax will stand on. They did start spending, and as the Astros and A's are declining, they know their time is now. As always, all contracts are from Spotrac. All stats are from Fangraphs and Baseball Reference, and the percentile rankings are from Baseball Savant. As always, our 2022 off-season plan has 5 steps. The first one will be to sign a third baseman. Kyle Seager, a longtime Mariner, just retired, and Abraham Toro is simply not good enough, so we need someone in the hot corner. The next spot is to get another starting pitcher. The Mariners already spending AL Cy Young Robbie Ray, but outside of that, this rotation is not deep enough to get a long run in October between youth and injuries. The third step is to develop the top prospects. As I said, Kelnick and Gilbert are already in MLB, but Julio Rodriguez, Hancock, Marte, and even more will be here in a year or two, so we need them to develop so they can be ready. The next step is to get a bullpen arm. This team needs another reliever in the back end, and this market has a lot of good options that we need to look. And finally, we need to get a center fielder, because Kyle Lewis is not an everyday center fielder, and Julio Rodriguez is not there yet. And as he continues to go up the system, we need someone there. For this team, we're not going through a lot of trades, because I don't want to let these young players go. So we're mainly focusing on free agency. That's why our first signing will be Kris Bryant. We all know how good this guy is. Even after a bad 2020, he bounced back in 2021, and helped the Giants be the best team in the regular season after the trade. I mean, he wasn't MVP Kris Bryant, but he still hit a 265, 353, 481 slash line, giving him a 124 OPS plus, a 123 WRC plus, and a 3.6 WAR. He's turning 30 this offseason, so we're giving him a 6-year deal for $23.5 million. We are playing him at third base because he's not great defensively on the outfield, and the only hole we have there is center field, so we don't want a defensive liability. For our next signing, we're looking at a former A's pitcher, Trevor Rosenthal, even though he didn't pitch with them because he was out in 2021. But in the 2020 season, where he was with Royals and the Padres, he had a .84 WHIP, a 2.41 ERA plus, and a 2.2 FIP. This along with 14.5 Ks per 9. We're getting him for only a year and $8.5 million, more or less the deal he had with Athletics, to bolster the bullpen and help our end of the line guys. For our last free agent signing, we're looking at Japanese star Seya Suzuki, and I know a Suzuki in the Mariners has already worked out, so why not try it again? His stats are great at both sides of the ball, but truly the hitting does change from Japan to the MLB. His slash line was 317, 433, and 636 for an OPS over 1, exactly at 1.069. This along with 38 home runs. As I said, he's great defensively, so he will be playing center until Julio arrives. Then he can move to any corner. And we also know that Japanese players prefer the West Coast, so it is easier to watch in his country, so he may sign with us. And to end the off-season, I know I said no trades, but I did not want to get rolled on again as in the Angels, and the rest of the starting pitching class is not great. So we're trading for Reds starting pitcher Sonny Gray. The Reds have expressed their interest in trading him. He has 1 year left, plus a club option for 2023. His ERA took a dip, but he was unlucky in a huge hitter's park, as he did have an ERA over 4, but his expected ERA was 3.25. He was around average in WAR at 2.4. He had a 3.9 FIP and over 10 Ks per 9. The problem this year, between being unlucky and walking a lot of batters, we're giving them Sam De La Plaine, Zach DeLoach, and Matt Barsh. After trading for Grit, we have a great rotation with Robbie Ray to do a 1-2 punch, Marco Gonzalez, Logan Gilbert, and Flexen to round out. The rotation is great with young players, and our bullpen looks great even if there's a lot of more righties than lefties with Sewell, Rosenthal, Stecken Ryder, Diego Castillo, Kane Giles, Sadler, Missy Wicks, and as always, I love to put a young starter as a long reliever. That's why we have Justus Sheffield in. And as our lineup, I did go a little bit more with the focus on hitting than on defending. As we have Riley in our catcher, our infield will have Franz at first, Frazier at second, Chris Bryant, our signing, at third, and of course J.P. Crawford at shortstop. And our outfield will be Kelenic, Suzuki, and Haniger from left to right, and Kyle Lewis will be the designated hitter. And in our bench we have a lot of options, with Murphy, Torrance, Fraley, and Toro. We have covered the outfield, the infield, and even the catcher. And these are also great hitters that can come in the clutch as pinch hitters. This team feels around the same as last year in 95 plus win range, but without the luck they had last year. We may bounce in the playoff with the latest rumor of the playoffs will expand from 6 or even 8 teams per league. As we head to the 23 season, we need to tweak the team a little bit to continue developing our young players and continue to be able to get to those playoff spots. For this, we will start with signing an infielder, as Adam Frazier is a free agent and we need someone while Marte gets ready, or even to play with Marte when we will let Crawford go. We also, for the second thing we are doing is calling up Julio Rodriguez. It's time. We need our top prospect in the team as we want to contend and help him develop. This all comes because Mitch Haniger is a free agent at 33. So we won't afford him and we're letting him walk. The third thing is to get a lefty, for the bullpen specifically. As I said, our bullpen looks great, but it's too righty heavy. So we need a lefty to get us out of jams against left-handed hitters. The fourth thing is to take Flexen's option. He may not be an ace or anything near, but he's a solid 3 or 4. And his option is not expensive, so we're keeping him. Also, as a side note, we are obviously taking Sonny Gray's option, as I said at the beginning when we traded for him. And the last one will be to re-sign Ken Giles. He has been great everywhere he goes as long as he stays healthy. So we need to wait how this 22 season goes to see, but I expect him to be as good as ever, and we're paying him for a 2 or 3 year deal to keep him in Seattle. As we get to free agency, I promise we're staying out of the trade market this year because we don't need a lot and our prospects are almost ready. So we're starting with a shortstop in Triya Turner. The Mariners did try to trade for him in the middle of the 2021 season but got outbid by the Dodgers. So we're getting him to play shortstop and move J.P. Crawford to second base until Marte arrives. In 2021, that was his best season by far. He had a 328, 375, 536 slash line, giving him a 911 OPS and an OPS plus of 146. Yes, he could take a little bit more walks, but if you're getting on base at almost 30% of the times, who cares? We're getting him for 5 years and 27 million each, as he will pair up our middle in the infield with our present and future in Crawford and Marte. Our next signing is to address our lefty in the bullpen, because as I said, we need a lefty specialist. So we're looking at twin reliever in Rogers. He did have an ERA over 3.3, but he was so unlucky last year with an expected ERA of 2.55 and a 2.13 FIP. He had a 1.6 WAR out of the bullpen, so you know he's good. He will help us a lot out of the bullpen against some lefty bats, especially in jams. We're getting him for 2 years and around 10 million a year, a little bit less, but still around that mark. So he can bolster our bullpen and help us against lefties. As I mentioned in our plan, we need to resign Giles. He did not pitch in 2021, and in 2020 he only had 3.2 innings. But in 2019, that is his last full season, and that's where the Baseball Savant rankings are from that year, he threw 53 innings for a 1 whip, a 1.87 ERA, and an ERA plus at 2.44. He needs to cut down the walks, and let's hope for him to be healthy. He does have a 9.5 million club option with us, but instead of taking it, we're paying him 9.5 for the next 3 years. As he gets older, he will like the save money, and we need some long-term solutions. As for our team, the rotation stays the same as we took Flexen's option. So we have Ray, Sonny Gray, Marco Gonzalez, Gilbert, and obviously Flexen. The bullpen looks better with Rogers now helping Gals, Castillo, Stecken Ryder, Rosenthal, Sewell, and the rest of the guys. But as I said, there's still a need for lefties back there. And for our lineup, we will keep Rayleigh as catcher as he develops into a good defensive catcher. France stays at first, Crawford moves to second as I said, so Turner can become the shortstop, and KB stays in third. Our outfield has Kelnick in left, and Rodriguez getting the center fielder nod as Suzuki moves to right field. The bench stays the same with all of our guys are young and under control. And I forgot, Kyle Lewis will be our DH again. Well, there you have it. My Mariners rebuild trying to break the 20-year playoff slump, or drought, and more than 40 years of championship drought. Even if I don't think we're winning it in the first 2 years, we're for sure a playoff team now. And as our kids continue to develop, we can compete even more and more. And if they pan out as we expect them to do, maybe this team can win it all. Let me know what do you think about this team and about this rebuild. And let me know what team would you like next. Thanks for watching and see you next time.